Okay, got my Sharpie. Now, everyone has their own way of doing this. I'm going to hold this perfect, okay? I'm going to put a dot and a dot. Okay? And about the center, I'm going to put a dot and a dot. And then over here, I'm going to put a dot and dot. This. No, I'm going to come in quite a ways here. I'm going to go a dot and a dot here. Because if we follow the instructions here on making the aileron, the hinge is going to go here. I can move this one out a bit then. There. And the outside. Because here, we're going to cut in a control rod. So they would say we're going to go in 28 millimeters on this end with my little ruler. Okay? So we're going to go in 28 millimeters. Right to there. You guys see me? I hope so. Okay. So while I'm doing that one, this one goes over here this way, right? So I'm going to set them together. Because I already measured the 28 millimeters, I'm going to mark it on that one. We're not going to do that one right now. We'll do that one after. Okay? So now what they say to do is drill a hole there. Right? So we'll drill a nice little hole here straight in. Ooh. That's far enough. And cut a little groove for the wire you're going to put here. You'll see. Okay. See that? Oh, that's annoying. 1 second. So you want to know what that's for? Does everyone have just one thing? Have this airplane build we're doing here, right? Oh, and I also blew the motor up in one of my 5th scale trucks. So I need to replace it with that motor over there. And the timer's just going off because I'm painting a body. And look at that, eh? My airbrush station. The compressor in my air tank. That's a really nice little setup. Runs about 45-50 psi. And I know I'm doing a new body for my Wraith. Okay, enough of that. Back to the build. Okay, so we cut the aileron out and we marked it for the drilled a hole. We cut this out, okay? So this is on this side, right? So I know that we're going to have one servo that does both the ailerons. Now, I know it's easy to take these and just make them so that you have one servo per. But it's a small plane. I don't think we need that. So the other one over here. We'll take, I should trim that off, because I did on the other one, right? Just real carefully. Trim that off. Okay. Most part's gone. So I'm going to drill that hole straight in. And I've built these type before. I mean, I have a few here, I believe, that are still like this. My P-51 Mustang being one. Okay. Then you can sort of use that cut line from where you cut it out to make your V-mold. Just cut in at a small angle on both sides And there we have that. So my ailerons are sort of done. But now what we need to do is cut the marking for the hinges. That's pretty easy. Okay, so we have those two dots. We can see this one here. I'm going to cut it like nice and straight in. Okay. This one, we're cutting these in the center of the aileron. Okay. And this last hinge. Okay. See, we didn't mark that one yet, so we'll have to wait. Okay, we'll do one at a time. Well, I should do the other one too. Just because if we're going to be gluing one, we should be gluing them all. So, let me mark my wing here. I'll put this on here. It's upside down. How can we do this easy? Maybe that way. Okay. So, we cut a little bit off each end, remember? We trim this. So we'll make this so that it just sort of fits in the middle a bit. Nice. Take our marker. Remember that this one here has that hinge mark there, so go there, there, and near the other side. Okay. There's many ways to do it, but I find that if we put the marks on there, makes it a lot easier to match these hinge holes. I'll show you what we're doing here. Oh, you can't even see me, can you? See? In the center of these ailerons, I'm using a brand new blade again, well, same one. And I'm cutting okay. Now, we're going to glue the hinges in both of these first before we go much further. So, we're going to grab their hinges. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, just to test fit them all, we'll slide and make sure they fit halfway in. Since they do, we're going to glue them in place now. So now I'll take a tiny bit of their glue. I'm going to take these hinges out. I'm going to put just a little bit of dab of glue on the hinge and slide it into place. Now don't worry about wiping if there's a little excess. I mean, you don't have to put much on here, but you want it just moist with glue. The excess will break off really easy later. So don't worry about that now. Just make sure these things are in nice. And don't get any glue on the other side yet, because we want that nice and smooth to go into the wing. Okay, so I got that one glued. Now, other one. See, this is kind of good. So we set the fuselage aside for a minute to let some glue dry. And we skipped a couple steps and went ahead and threw the ailerons on here. I mean, if you're really impatient, what we'll do next is the elevator and the rudder. We will. But first now, we'll finish these up and set this aside. Because we really want this glue to set on these hinges before we start fitting it into the wing, okay? So, we'll set this part aside now. We'll see that's done for a bit. I'll put the lid back on the glue. Okay. Now, we'll bring out the elevator and the rudder. So, this is sort of easy. I mean, it looks solid here, but it is, but it just comes off at the top. We'll cut through there. Now, it's sitting dead flat, so I'll start right up against the actual rudder and right through. There we go. Now again, I'm going to trim this up just a little bit. Just a little bit to okay. And the bottom here looks like they never finished, so I'm going to cut the bevel into that. Okay. Now we'll look at this. That looks nice. Alright. So that's cut. Now, looks like the elevator comes off in just one big piece, okay? So I'm going to start from the center here and cut out the center this way, right through the edge, turn it over, okay, and cut this little center piece, and boom. You see it's got some weird pieces on it, so we have to trim them. Very easy. Just cut them the same angle that the rest of it is. Same as in this one here in the center. I mean, this stuff's really flimsy, you guys. But it's a park flyer. We're going to fly it on some pretty small equipment. So there we go. Cut nice. There's that piece. Now again, I want to trim this just a bit. Just to clean that edge up. I might even sand that. I think that's what I'm going to do with this one. So a little piece of sandpaper here. That's way better to finish these. You know, if you have little edgy problems, look at that. Make it look all nice, see? Just perfect. Let's touch this one up. Maybe I should have done the other ones on the sandpaper, but I did them pretty nice. You could sand them too. Just sand it. Doesn't take long at all to fix it up. So there. You ready to do the hinges on those now?